As you all know, there is a huge bundle of reference material available for you to use when making decisions regarding fire. In this course, we will focus on the Interagency Incident Response Pocket Guide, or the Yellow Book as many people call it. We talked to Paul Hefner, who was one of the originators of this book. Paul started his career back in 1966. He's a Type 1 incident commander and is currently a fire staff officer on the Payette National Forest in Idaho. I want to share with you his thoughts on this reference.
Several years back, there were several of us here at the Fire Center that had recently come from the field, and we were noticing a lot of development with pocket cards, wallet cards, different publications that in some cases they all said the same thing. In other areas we saw different regions of the Forest Service and units of BLM publishing this initial response pocket guide. They were doing it individually, and every one of them was just a little different from the other. And as we all know, every firefighter fights fire in different areas, and to have that inconsistency around the country wasn't necessarily the best situation. Well, our initial thought was that the Fireline Handbook addresses quite well dealing with management situations, with position descriptions, checklists in overhead positions, and some ICS typing and some of those standards within the incident command system. It doesn't really hit very closely the tools that are needed for the on-the-ground firefighter. So our initial hit was to not duplicate the Fireline Handbook, although there are a few things that are in the Fireline Handbook that are also in the pocket guide. But this idea was to have it as a pocket guide for the on-ground firefighter. The Fireline Handbook could potentially be in a pack or in a briefcase for the individuals that supervise the on-the-ground firefighters. It may be 1 or 2 levels up. And then any other operational guides, example of the Standards for Fire and Aviation Operations, that would be the book that would probably be in the vehicle, in the briefcase, on the FMO's desk, and on the line officer or agency administrator's desk as a guide, as a reference to what are the standards for fire operations. So there'd basically be a 3-phase, 3-level reference. The green pages of the Initial Response Pocket Guide are operational pages, and we put those at the front of the book because they're so important in the way we do business. They need to be looked at weekly, daily, during your 6-minute for safety. They involve risk management. They involve tactical watchouts, many different checklists, things that you may encounter every day, but things that you may encounter only in a rare event. It's so important that you put so much emphasis, you put a great level of emphasis on knowing what's in the green pages, and you practice these things that are in the green pages. If we teach the book is included through all our refreshers, our rookie schools, all those areas that we teach our firefighters or we refresh our firefighters. If all the elements of the book are taught during that, I think the people will start to come around more and be able to use it as a tool instead of just handing it off to them. A seasoned firefighter will see the tools in the box and say, yeah, these are things that I can use. Well, this is great, this is great. The beginning firefighter may not know a lot of the applicability because they've never been in these situations before. So again, it's so important that we teach the book, we make it a standard, that this is part of your everyday life. This is no different than that driver's license that you have in your pocket that you have to take a test on every so many years. It will greatly, greatly increase the way we all consistently fight fire, whether it's a person from Alabama come to the West or we go to Alabama and help them fight fire. If we're all doing it the same way, I think we can be a lot safer and more efficient. The other thing is that terminology. This also helps clean up some of our terminology, many different ways of saying the same thing. All these checklists have standard terminology, PMS, NWCG approved terminology. If we're all using this as a teaching tool and then as an application tool, I think we better understanding from each other as we come from all different parts of the country together to fight fire.